I'll tell you a quick little story about, I don't know why this came into my head, but there you go. I was trying to think, did I ever had fire that, the boom, and I was thinking of my first crush actually, and the first like real, where it was like, oh wow, and you kind of like, you go, I'm having a crush. It was amazing. On summers, when my family would go to these cabins, K&Ray cottages they were called. There were these log cabins, and all the kids would play around, and we'd go and we'd have fun in the woods, and we'd go down to the lake, and it was fantastic. And they had this great system too, where once a week they would have a night where the kids were looked after by the owners of the cottages. And we went on scavenger hunts and watched movies and played games, and we loved it. We thought it was fantastic. And this was the parents' night out, because they were all on holidays, and it was like, you're there and you can go out, and it was their date night. But so at K&Ray Cottages, I met this girl, and her name was Cinderella. Her name was Cinderella, and it was like, what's your name? Hi, yeah. And she's like, Cinderella. But everybody calls me Cindy. And I was like, okay, that's cool, Cinderella. And Cinderella was 16, and I think I was maybe 13. So she was an older woman. She knew all about the world, I was sure. And we used to all play in the woods, and we pretended we were galloping on horses through the woods, and I would gallop after Cinderella, and I would just follow her everywhere, and I was just like this little puppy dog, I think, with a crush. But I remember this one afternoon, we went back to her cottage, and it was just her and I mean, it wasn't like I was thinking about anything even. This was just the most amazing thing that had ever happened, because I was with Cinderella. And Cinderella says, come on over and let's read some comic books. And she was totally into comic books. So she had this pile of comic books. We're lying down there reading comic books with Cinderella. And I just thought, this is it, this is fantastic. And ever since then, I think that's why I've always enjoyed two things: fairy tales and comic books. They had a very special place in my heart. Maybe that was Cinderella, I don't know. I don't understand much about love. So that's why I go to textbooks. And preferably, if I was trying to understand what love is, I think you got to go to the science textbooks. So this is a textbook called Teach Yourself Atomic Physics. Actually, it's a book of poems that I wrote called Teach Yourself Atomic Physics, but it's based on and inspired by an actual textbook, an actual book called Teach Yourself Atomic Physics. Because there's this series of books called the Teach Yourself series, and you can teach yourself violin, you can teach yourself billiards, and they have diagrams about all the angles. And there is a book, I have a copy of the original, called Teach Yourself Atomic Physics. And I was like, how can you do that? It shouldn't be legal. You shouldn't be able to do it. So I got the book, and I was looking through it, and I thought, I don't have a clue what this is about. So I was trying to figure out how could I possibly relate to physics? How could I get connected, and how could I teach myself? So I do like physics a lot and like science, so I wrote a series of poems that were based, the titles come from scientific theories. So the one I want to share with you today is based on Schrodinger's cat. Do you know Schrodinger's cat? Who knows Schrodinger's cat? Cool, you've heard of it. Schrodinger's cat it was actually a thought experiment, and it has to do with quantum mechanics, which is like, quantums are really small things. And the world of the quantum world, the world of the extremely tiny, works on probabilities more than actualities. So they don't say, an electron is here or there. Well, it might be here and it might be there. And Schrodinger, this scientist, came up with this thought experiment, and he said, if you take a cat and put it in a box, and you have in the box, there's this radioactive isotope, and it might emit a particle and it might not emit a particle. If it emits a particle, it's going to be measured, poison gas is going to be shot out in the box, dead cat. It was a thought experiment. No actual cats were involved, so don't worry. If the particle doesn't decay, there's no measuring, no poison gas, cat is alive. Cat's in a box, you can't see the box. You can't see inside the box, right? So the whole thing is about how until you actually open the box, it's just a probability. I know it messes with my head too. So they say, is the cat alive or is it dead? It's kind of both and neither. And when you actually open the box, the reality is actualized and it happens. I've confused you very much. So the point is, until you look in the box, you don't know. So this is called Schrodinger's heart. Oh, I have to tell you one thing. So this is a love poem, but there might be one word that you don't know, and it's an Australian word, and the word is chunder. Who knows the word chunder?
Maybe in a different context.
Yeah, and it means to vomit. So it's always good when you have a love poem when you have to teach people the Australian word for vomit first. So good sign. Schrodinger's heart. Maybe I love you, maybe I don't. You'll have to look inside my heart to know for sure. Well, go on, take a peek. Let the genie out of the bottle, let the cat out of the box. I mean, you want to know, don't you, which it is? Is it do or don't? Will or won't? Is it roses or razors? Together forever or pitiful failure? Is it sunsets or thunder? Chocolates or chunder? Is it champagne or paint thinner? Is it an endless banquet or just one dinner? Is it commitment that's solid as a rock? Or is it flimsy, fickle, and flaccid? Are those grunts of true emotion and love, or simply a response to stomach acid? The choice, of course, is yours, whether or not to know. But you cannot choose the direction in which the answer will go. And remember that what you know cannot be unknown. That once the die is cast, it cannot be unthrown. Or perhaps it's too late already. For two paths have been shown. And of all the seeds ever planted in the heart, doubt alone can never be unsown. Thank you. You learn some physics. There you go. All right. One more love poem, and then I'm going to sing you a song. This one doesn't have a preface. Oh, except there is no Sally. Okay. The pendulum of life doesn't swing. It sways. And Sally says she could rest here in my arms for days. The cows are in their nightshirts, and the moon is on the mend, and I think it can, is puffing round the bend. Sally's wearing lipstick, and after one kiss, so am I. We are tangled up like streamers on the 4th of July. We're tangled up like fingers. We're tangled up like lies that believe themselves so fully you can look them in the eyes. We are two sides of a seesaw. She's the yo-yo, I'm the string. We are a shattered vase of roses, and every perfect thing at the moment before it's breaking. When perfection means the most, before time knocks it off the shelf, and that perfection turns to ghost. So wait, she holds me tightly. Wait, please make it slow, because tomorrow is one day I don't ever want to know. Let's just stay now, forever. She wishes in my ear, and our bodies blend a voodoo that makes the minutes disappear. Makes the seconds stop their ticking. Sit down and sip some tea. Makes the crickets sing songs with choruses that all end with you and me. You and me in this eternity. Sally's been watching movies, so she knows this has to end. But we close our eyes and wrap ourselves in a blanket of pretend. We rush heart first and blindly into that short forever and swear upon our graves that death will part us never. Thank you.